This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. It's a freaking Monday. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving holiday. I know I did. Stuffed myself. Went a little low key this year. Had a turkey pot pie, some deviled eggs, biscuits and gravy. Yum. And of course, we had dessert on Friday with the Media Winch joining us for the show. We did a marathon stream. But guys, we need to talk about something. We have serious problems here in America. And here to tell us about them is actor Jon Voight.
We're heading down a street that has no name now. We must not allow our...
Where the streets have no name. I'm sorry. I thought we were watching a video by Jon Voight and not Bono.
nation to crumble. This is what they want, to destroy America. Let me warn you all that we are in...
Let me tell you something as a photographer, videographer. That's a lot of negative headspace right there. It's really bothering me, but I guess somebody was like, let's get the full flag in the frame here. Nice depth of field, though. Notice how it's blurry in the background? Voight pops out. At least they used a nice lens to shoot this. Shot composition, yeah. But the look and the color, very nice, very nice.
In great danger if we fall under a Biden administration.
If we fall under a Biden administration, that's the thing. These right-wing fucking morons have still yet to accept the result, and it's pissing some people in the GOP off. We're going to go over that here in a little bit. I know I didn't cover what's going to happen later on in the show, but apparently Biden is off on the wrong foot. Literally. Mitch McConnell says they've done enough coronavirus relief. And yet another monolith has appeared, and we're going to fucking talk about what that shit is and make fun of it. Oh, and Mike Tyson gave an interesting interview after his fight on Saturday, I guess it was? Yeah, Saturday night. But anyway, what were you saying, Jon Voight?
Our nation to crumble. This is what they want, to destroy America. Let me warn you all that we are in great danger if we fall under a Biden administration. Our state, California, is being ruled by a leftist mob. Himself, Governor Newsom, is...
Ruled! This is all emotive arguments. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Fall under a Biden administration. I hate to inform you, Mr. Voight. Biden will be taking office on January 20th at noon. Ain't nothing gonna change that, son. No matter how many stupid fucking frivolous lawsuits he throws at the courts, wasting taxpayer money contesting an election that he lost. Biden will take office on January 20th. Now, I'm not exactly happy about Biden. He's not this far left socialist that assholes like Voight paint him to be. But he's still a million times better than Donald Trump. Sorry.
taking away our freedom, your freedom. He's a disgrace to mankind, he and his relative Nancy Pelosi, who has tried to bring President Trump down. Governor Newsom has destroyed many lives of people who depended on their businesses.
That's another thing. Like, Nancy Pelosi tried to bring Trump down. I kind of feel like Trump tried to bring Trump down by being just as shitty as he possibly could. Nancy Pelosi is ineffectual. Ineffective. Thus why they weren't able to rightfully remove him from office. Also, it looks like Voight is taking a shit here on the screen that I paused it on.
Now he wants to shut down again. He is a lie, like all the left that are trying to destroy the USA. I ask all to fight this battle now, to get them all out. I've been attacked by my fellow peers.
I just noticed it. Now, I usually move the chair so that it's not in the shot, but if you look right here, making his first appearance on the show that I believe, that's Socrates. That's Socrates right there. Hey, buddy. Say hi. Hi, Socks. I always like to point out the cats that are on the stream. So, yeah, Socks right there in the corner. He's over there laughing about John Voight as well.
Saying I am preaching violence, when the truth is, they all are. The left are burning and destroying our cities.
Man, they have latched onto that so hard. And, I mean, it's effective. Guess what? It's not true. But, I mean, hey, I posted this on a right-winger's Facebook. It's like, oh, the left is burning down cities. What you're referring to is the attack on the Minneapolis Police Department, which was a far-right Boogaloo Boys group trying to pose as leftists to give people like John Voight ammo. It's bullshit. And the dude, the guy that was busting out windows at the AutoZone that we got the video of, also from a right-wing group. That's according to the feds. But hey, you present that to right-wingers and they're like, oh, no, that's fake news. Even though that came from The Hill, a very conservative publication. But go on. Continue, John Voight.
We are willing to fight for freedom, not freedom to burn down our flag, but to raise her up with the glory of this land of the free. But the left are trying to stop these truths. Let us bring
these truths. This absolute bullshit that you are promoting. As I just pointed out, John Voight. That's the face I make when I hear people say stupid shit like this.
To the Supreme Court, let them see how corrupt the left is with their fraudulent votes. Let the truth show itself, that President Trump is the only man that can save this nation. Let us fight this evil now, and know that God's truth.
I believe there's a name for that. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but when somebody says, like, they are the only ones that can solve this, some kind of psychological trait in that cult mentality
Will expose them all. Let me ask all to pray in the name of Jesus, Moses, and all saints for their hands of safety to be on us now. The way in which we are being targeted will be hard to fix, but with all your love and prayers and truths.
The way they will be targeted! These people are the whiniest, biggest crybabies on the planet. And please stay tuned. I noticed that my video of people crying over Trump did very well on YouTube. We got more of it coming up. They will call you a snowflake. But then they get on fucking Twitter and make videos like this, crying about how the country is going to end if Joe Biden takes office. Now, on Thanksgiving, I have a wide selection of old TV shows, sitcoms, cartoons, stuff like that. Thanksgiving specials. And one of the shows that I watched was Seinfeld, the Mom and Pop Store episode. And it's the one where George buys John Voight's car. And then John Voight ends up biting Kramer on the arm. And they go to God, what's his character's name? It's Bryan Cranston. He's a recurring role. He's a dentist on the show. And they go and like Kramer's trying to show his arm. They're matching it to like a pencil they found inside of John Voight's LeBaron. But the funniest part of that show is when they're walking to George's car, the LeBaron he just bought that was owned by John Voight. Jerry has this whole speech about how that's the beauty of it. They picked John Voight. If they said it was Liam Neeson, you would have never believed it. But John Voight, yeah. You know, because even then John Voight was a laughable piece of shit.
We can win this battle against this evil force that has taken over this country. We must get Governor Newsom out. He's destroying the people's freedom. We must remember who we are. We are a nation that fought the Civil War, and we won that battle. Let's not give up.
Who did we fight in the Civil War? We a nation won a battle against ourselves? And this is still up on Twitter. This is on his fucking Twitter. He didn't do another take? You're not a fucking professional? What the hell? Well, I don't understand that.
God bless.
Now notice this has 871,000 views. I assume most of the views are people like me making fun of him. Jesus Christ. But you heard him mention fraudulent votes. Shall we head to Pennsylvania? This happened on Friday. Here we go. This is witness testimony.
Normally you would expect to see a smooth curve going up, not any big spikes.
Well, I can't make it bigger? What the hell, Rumble? God. All these right-wing sites suck. Parler sucks. If you have been on there and used the interface, holy shit. Rumble. Try to make it bigger. Try to pop it out. Won't happen. Sorry.
That's kind of what Greg was talking about, the anomalies of loading and uploading those votes. So that big spike that occurs there is a prime indicator of fraudulent voting.
604,000 votes in 90 minutes, is that right?
Correct. This is 337 votes. 337,000 votes in that
In that period of time.
Yes.
And when you look at this entire curve with all these spikes, can you calculate how much of a vote that accounted for Biden and how much for Trump?
Close to 600,000. I think our figures were about 570.
What's up, Lafayette?
That all those spikes represent over time.
For Biden.
Correct.
And how much for Trump?
I think it was a little over 3,200.
Lower what?
Now, just to go back to your original.
Well, now, if that was in... It sounded like he said 60% and then lower 30s for Trump. If that was in Philadelphia, that would absolutely match what you would expect the vote total to look like. I'm great. Can't complain. Just making fun of dumbass right-wingers. Now, this video was described as a bombshell. Bombshell. And the lower third here says Dominion executive. Trump is not going to win. I made fucking sure of that. One in my chat about to give you $5. Are you saying you're a right-winger? Bryson Gray, God Soldier. And you'll donate $50. Well, here's the thing. If it's copyright, I can't do it because I'll get popped and my video will get taken down and I won't get monetized. Alright, you're going to donate $50 if I look up this video. I would assume. You know what? What is it on YouTube? Is that what we're doing? Or you gotta go to Rumble to watch this. MAGA boy, I kind of want to watch this. God's soldier. First one here. 91,000 views, I assume. Hey, if he's gonna give me $50, I'll watch his video. But now, no. I'm going to be completely honest on the other side of the video, so, hey. Your call, dude. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, man, you're not bad. I like the beat. You got some skill. Let's hear the rest of it. Dude, I do go both ways. And as Living Colour sang in the early 90s, everybody loves you when you're by. Not a bad song, though, so far.
First off, you can play both sides. Let me know right now, is it world or is it God? And I'll get persecuted by both sides, but I'll let you know.
No. You've got this hoodie on that says, God is dope. Is that something you can buy on your website? Is that some merchandise? Are you still with me? Let me know. Have you got that hoodie for sale? You don't have the hoodie for sale on your website? Okay.
Now that I want to apologize to the LGBT that they can't control me, cause somebody gotta tell the world the truth. You know what's an abomination?
Who in the world is trying to control you? The LGBT is trying to control you? How? I don't understand. The LGBT movement is about coming out of the closet, not having to hide who they truly are. You know, we're America. It's a land of the free, you know. What's a fact? That the LGBT community is trying to control you? I would say that is far from a fact. Nobody is trying to control you. They want to be able to live their lives in peace. No, they aren't. I'm part of the community. I'm not trying to control you. What the fuck, dude? I'm playing your video. Who's trying to control you? Common, but it's I don't know what you're trying to say. All right. Anyway, I'm digging the beat. You got some skill, bro.
And I ain't the one to say it. Look in Leviticus, you can see the proof. Secondly,
Whoa, Leviticus. Is that hoodie you're wearing blended fabric? Do you eat shellfish? Because if you were going to throw out Leviticus, you better be living by Levitical law. Because I will agree, a lot of Christians say that Jesus is a new covenant. But Jesus said he did not come to abolish the law. So Levitical law is still in effect. But I'm guessing that hoodie has a blended fabric, which is just as much of a sin as being gay. So you are a hypocrite, sir. So, marriage is a legal contract. It's about property rights and shit. It has nothing to do with your God. Sorry, bro. Hey, you got your rocks off before you got married, huh? I had plenty of sex before. I've never been married. He's falling in his own excrement. There better be $50 in my account after I get finished with this. I feel sorry for you, man. You need to go get a nut. Dude, I like it. Good beat. You got talent. The message is shit. Very misguided. But dude, I'm totally down. Great song. You got some fucking talent, dude. I see $3 in my account. You said 50. I thank you for turning me on to it, man. I'll clip this and put it up on YouTube. All right, man. I trust you. I'm assuming a man of God wouldn't bear false witness. So I'm assuming there'll be $50 in my account. And thank you for supporting the cause. Thank you for supporting a heathen like me. The message is complete bullshit. Also, God said not to pass judgment, and that song is very, very judgmental of other people. But in just musically, man, that's a banger, dude. I'll follow you on Spotify, man. So, like, you got talent. I hate that you're using it to further a cause that I think is detrimental. I believe religious people are very, very, they're very bad. I haven't had a good old-fashioned religious argument in a long time. Been doing the politics lately. I assume you're a Trump supporter, right? Revelations 22:20. Behold, I come quickly. Why are you going to leave? Stay for the rest of the show. Well, man, if you're a Trump supporter, ugh. Do you know how many abortions that man has paid for? Do you know how many lies he tells on a daily basis? But hey, I'm sure being a black Trump supporter is very profitable. There's a lot of gullible assholes out there that they can use you to say they're not racist. So, all right, this is from OAN.
Now Rian speaks with founder of FEC United, Joel Altman, who made a bombshell discovery about a key member of Dominion's leadership.
Joe, you infiltrated an Antifa conference call this past September.
An Antifa conference call! Holy shit! Look at this dude right there. I used to work for a guy that looked exactly like this. Don't trust him. Anyone, like I wear the button-up shirts that are apart with the chain down. Like, we're scuzz buckets. Don't trust us. Anyway, he was on an Antifa conference call, which right there is a red flag. That never happened. So I'm assuming this dude is going to make everything up that he's getting ready to say.
And accidentally came upon a top Dominion voting systems executive named Eric Coomer.
Whoa. And there is an executive in an Antifa conference call. It is my right-wingers are morons flag. You can get it on the shirt at the FREAKIN shop. This came from God, I forget the name. I wish I could plug them. The name of the website slips my mind, but this is my Fuck Nazis shirt, and I got it after the rally in Charlottesville. The proceeds from this shirt went to the Heather Heyer Foundation. I love this shirt. I wore it to vote. But anyway, back to this sleazy looking dude.
Call and what it led you to find.
It was interesting how the call started. Somebody says, "Who's Eric?" He says, "Eric's a Dominion guy." Someone actually said, "Hey, go ahead." I told him to continue speaking, and someone interrupts and says, "What are we going to do if effing Trump wins?" And Eric responds, and I'm paraphrasing this, by the way.
You're making it all up, dude.
He's not going to win. I made effing sure of that. And then they started laughing, and somebody says effing right. At that point, I thought to myself, this guy's crazy. These people are crazy because they think
I think you're crazy.
Jedi warriors, and they can just will themselves.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Yes. I think you're all fucking crazy.
So Trump not winning.
Fast forward to just after the election, Altman sees an article concerning Georgia's last-minute Dominion voting software updates. The article cites Eric speaking on behalf of Dominion. Altman remembers his September call and begins to dig deeper.
But I did do research on Eric, and so I just put a simple Google search to start, which was Eric Dominion, Denver, Colorado, and Eric Coomer came up immediately under Dominion voting systems. So anytime that there was a press release, Eric Coomer was the one giving that press release. Anytime that they were pitching the product to different municipalities, he was the one pitching the product. And I'm talking about Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia, Pennsylvania, you name it, his name pops up everywhere.
The real shocker came when Altman found Coomer's Facebook posts.
And when I got access to his Facebook, you get that sinking feeling like what this is crazy. Here's a director of,
it is crazy.
Of strategy and security at Dominion. And when I got into his Facebook page, that's when things really started to kind of come together for me that Eric Coomer was this, that he was not just Antifa, he was responsible for putting his finger on the election.
Posts including the Antifa Manifesto, vitriolic posts against all Trump voters, song links like Dead Prez and F the Police and F the USA. Altman says,
excellent songs. Fuck the Police, I assume the Ice Cube classic. Dead Prez, that's a that's a punk band, isn't it? The Kennedys. I'm not that up on the punk music.
Coomer had the title and the power to exercise his vitriol through Dominion. If Coomer is investigated and found to have indeed tampered with a presidential election, such an action could be tried for treason. Unfortunately, the question is, will the FBI step up to investigate? For more on this interview and others, tune in for...
Wow, OAN really is going off the deep end. And what they're doing is they're shoveling the shit that their viewers really want to hear. I was on an Antifa conference call and found that Antifa is working with this fucking CEO of a company to rig the election. Wow. Now, Dominion has fired back. And they say they're actually going to hold...
You know that thousands of Louisiana homeowners...
You shut up. They're actually going to hold Sidney Powell, who I guess has been the most prominent, because who the fuck was that dude? Sidney Powell, though, actually has a reputation, and she's gotten on the news, just completely bashed this Dominion software. They're now saying they will hold her accountable for any harm connected to the voter fraud claims. They released a statement on Thursday. On Thanksgiving? Come on, you fucking heartless corporation. Plans to hold Sidney Powell and her associates accountable for any harm that may result from the voter fraud claims she has made in the wake of the 2020 presidential election. The company gained an elevated public presence this election cycle, in large part due to disputed claims that President Donald Trump and his associates have made about the company over the last few weeks. Says its employees have been threatened. One worker even had a bounty placed on their head. That doesn't surprise me, but any time you're in the public eye, you're going to get death threats. I've gotten death threats. God, I've had at least 7 or 8 in the last week. But now, Rudy and the gang presented their case to a judge in Pennsylvania. And on Saturday, that judge smacked them down and says, in the United States of America, this cannot justify the disenfranchisement of a single voter, let alone all the voters of the 6th most populated state. The judge said one might expect compelling legal arguments and factual proof of rampant corruption. Instead, this court has been presented with strained legal arguments without merit and speculative accusations. Rather than requesting that their votes be counted, they seek to discredit scores of other votes, but only for one race. This is simply not how the Constitution works. And I present this to right-wingers all the time. General Mattis, the defense secretary, Trump's own defense secretary, said that Trump is a threat to the Constitution. And this is the kind of shit that he was talking about. Not how the Constitution works. Now, the lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania, who I have a feeling is going to be a rousing star in the Democratic Party, thanks to all of this, Peter Strzok trial? Peter Strzok was never put on trial. So I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. We can never get to the video here. What is this guy? John Fetterman, who looks like he should be wrestling in the WWE. Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania.
I hope they do. I hope they do. And
he was asked about them appealing, the Trump lawyers appealing the ruling that we just talked about to the Supreme Court.
I hope they do. I hope they do. And they're going to get their clock clean there the way they did, here in Pennsylvania. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I do know what you're talking about in the hearings. Yeah, there were so many other FBI agents that were that's not even what you're talking about. 8 Republicans dissing Trump. Oh, but there were other FBI agents. Like, their text messages about Hillary during that whole ordeal were far worse than Trump's. But yeah, Republicans have been bashing this shit, and we're even going to get into some Republicans bashing Trump. It's amazing to me that there haven't been more that want to step up and be on the right side of history. It may cost you politically right now, but you will be remembered in textbooks as having some fucking balls. So I'm amazed there's not more people stepping up. And especially trying to stake their 2024 hopes. But then again, Trump got more votes this time than in 2016. So clearly that's where the Republican voters are at. So I mean, I guess if you want to have a future inside the Republican Party, you do have to fall in line and suck Trump cock. But John Fetterman here, I think we'll see more from him, maybe even a senator from Pennsylvania shortly.
I hope they do. I hope they do, and they're going to get their clock clean there, the way they did, here in Pennsylvania. I mean, all of the snake handling at the Ramada that they had the other day here in Pennsylvania.
I will check that out.
This outcome, and no matter what they do, it's not going to change the outcomes, because there was 2 documented cases of voter fraud here in Pennsylvania, and they both involved voters trying to vote for the president. So no matter what they try and what they do, we all know how this movie's going to end.
We even played a video of a woman saying that she knew about voter fraud, that she did it, and she voted for Trump twice. These people are absolute fucking morons. Now here we go. Republican GOP Congressman Denver Riggleman on CNN.
Conspiracy theories to a new level this weekend. He claimed actually that the FBI and the Justice Department may have helped rig the election against him. Of course, there's no evidence of that. What is your reaction to that? And also the fact that there aren't many Republicans like you who are calling this what it is.
They ran Thomas Massey out of the party.
I was in NSA, and thank you for talking about that. But I worked with a lot of these agencies.
No. It's Justin something or other. Thomas Massey's still in the Republican Party. I'm wrong on that. Justin. God, I can't remember his name. They ran him out of the party when he stood up to Trump.
And when you have that many people that are disparaged by things that just aren't true, it really got under my skin. And, I've been trying to actually lower the temperature here today a little bit, because when I hear things like that, it does upset me in a way because of the people that I served with, the oaths that we took to the Constitution, and the fact that a lot of these conspiracy theories are really just hogwash. And, and in doing that, I don't know if you know this, Brianna, but I'm now on the board of the Network Contagion Research Institute, the NCRI, and I'm a co-author on something that just uses data and statistics that talks about the danger of conspiracy theories. And I'm going to read this, and the working title is How Disinformation Networks and Conspiracies Subvert Our Democracy and National Security. And what we wanted to do is use data and analytics to disprove a lot of these conspiracy theories. So that's where I'm going next, Brianna, is I'm trying to use my background in intelligence, whether it was a CEO of a company that supported DoD technologies doing cyber and non-kinetic types of attack options, but also my background in Air Force intelligence and trying to get ahead of this using data and analytics, rather than some of the hyperbolic stuff you're hearing right now.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very worthy goal. It's obviously so needed as we hear people wondering what to believe, and certainly their faith in
not Trump.
And information.
Whatever Trump says, believe the opposite.
I do want to ask you, though, your party, at least elected officials, I mean, you're a rarity. You as someone who's speaking out, like you lost your primary to a conservative challenger, but you're a rarity. It seems like Republicans look, I know a lot of them, they don't believe this stuff, but they seem very worried about coming out and saying that it is what it is, that it's not true. So I wonder if you can...
Because they saw what happened to Brian Kemp in Georgia.
I don't think, as far as defining myself as a constitutional Republican, I do, but as far as the state of the GOP, especially in Virginia, it's very difficult to. And Brianna, you know the problem with this is that we get caught up in tribes, and we're so afraid to go away from the team. And right now I'm tribeless. I sort of left that sort of some of the bizarre conspiracy theory actions because I know that they're untrue or they're improbable. Nothing's impossible in intelligence work, but it's improbable. And I've refused to join another tribe. I think that's part of the great thing of being an American. And some of those that I know that haven't spoken up are incredible people. And I think they're a little bit worried about their job. They're worried about.
No, they're not. If they won't speak up, they're not incredible people.
You know why I'm here. To be the first Republican to officiate a same-sex wedding, things like that is why, I got thrown out in a church parking lot. It wasn't even a primary. And I think that's just how I'm wired, is to be outspoken, because I'm not a politician. I've been in politics all of 3 years. And I love to serve. I was military, I was intelligence. I got to be a congressman, my goodness. But if I can't sit here and spit facts for people, if I am so afraid of my own shadow or being part of a tribe that I don't have the ability to say what I feel, I really don't deserve to be sitting in the seat. And that's how I feel about it. And I don't know what's in everybody else's hearts. I just know for me, my own...
Not credible.
I've had my own friends and people close to me that have said some awful things. And, that's why I'm trying to sort of shut the heat down a little bit and come at this more from a data and analytic way, because I see the pain that it's causing with this type of disinformation. And it really is hurting the fabric of our democracy if we don't say something about it.
But I don't know how you deal with these people, like the QAnon fucks, because you can present them with evidence, and all they're gonna say is like, "You've got Satan in your eyes." Yeah, I'm quoting something someone said to me this weekend. They're delusional. They're beyond delusion. Just like Trump, who apparently, after losing, kept muttering, "I won, I won, I won." I wonder if he was rocking back and forth. I won, I won, I won. Donald Trump on election night was like Mad King George, muttering, "I won, I won, I won," according to one close advisor who spoke to the Washington Post. More than 30 senior administration officials, members of his legal team, campaign aides, and advisors told the paper of his increasingly unhinged attempts to overturn the election result and how those left within the White House humored him. I've said it over and over again. We're living through the emperor has no fucking clothes. Those around the president after the 3rd of November were happy to scratch his itch. If he thinks he won, it's like, shh, we won't tell him. And these are the people calling us snowflakes. Now, Trump gave his first interview to the press over the weekend. He was on Maria Bartiromo on Fox Business, I believe it is. Maybe she's on Fox News.
I was called by the election. I was called by the biggest people saying congratulations, political.
The best people, the biggest people.
People. Congratulations, sir. You just won the election. It was 10 o'clock and you looked at the numbers, and I'm sure you felt that way. This election was over. And then they did dumps. They call them dumps, big, massive dumps in Michigan and Pennsylvania and all over. If you take a look. And what happened, if you watched the...
They call them dumps. Big boy dumps.
This is total fraud. And how the FBI and Department of Justice, I don't know, maybe they're involved, but how people are allowed to get away from this.
Look at her reaction. Wait a minute, your Department of Justice is involved in rigging the election against you? But hey. The CIA was part of some fucking conspiracy over in Germany, and they sent a special forces team to go snatch up a server that proves that Dominion was in on it. Zombie JFK Jr. helped execute this fucking mission in Germany. Like, I saw that story so many. I have a lot of Q people on my Facebook because I like keeping an eye on them. And also, for the longest time, I didn't say anything to them, but since I've gotten out of Facebook jail this last time, I really quit giving a fuck. So every time I see one of those stupid stories, I poke the bear. Like, you know that didn't happen, right? Dumb fucks. Now, also, when he was on Bartiromo, he stated that he was upset that he endorsed Brian Kemp, who is the governor of Georgia, Republican governor of Georgia. Kemp fires back, rejects Trump's call to overrule election officials with emergency powers. Trump really is trying, like, this is the sad part. Is if the Republican Party was led by somebody competent, it would be over. We wouldn't have a democracy anymore. This country would go full-blown fascist. We're lucky they are fucking incompetent. Ask the governor of Georgia to use emergency powers to overrule the election. This is insane. In a statement to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, a Kemp spokesperson said that Georgia law prohibits the governor from interfering in elections. After Trump, in messages on Twitter, questioned why the hapless governor was not interceding on his behalf. This is, as the governor has said repeatedly, he will continue to follow the law and encourage the Secretary of State to take reasonable steps, including a sample audit of signatures to restore trust and address serious issues that have been raised. There have been no serious issues raised. Oh, I'm sorry. There has been some serious issues raised. Here is an alarming report from Georgia.
I live in Fulton.
So this is just a poll manager in Fulton County, Georgia. Let's hear what she's got to say, because surely she's going to present us with some hard evidence that's alarming.
County, Georgia. I have been a long-time poll manager, and I was tasked to come to the Georgia World Congress Center, Building B, and be an auditor for the absentee ballot from the November 3rd election. When we received our first box, it was taped shut with clear packing tape. It had the Secretary of State's seal on the top, but having been a poll manager for a long time, there were no signatures on that seal, which there should be. Once a box or a manila envelope is sealed, it should have the sealer's signature and an additional signature. It should not be anything that's ever done by anyone alone. That seemed rather strange to me, that the seal was there, but there were no signatures on this seal indicating who had closed the box and what was the chain of custody on this box? Who had handled this box prior to my handling it? So when we opened the box and put the seal aside, we noticed that there were 700 to 800 absentee ballots inside. They were segregated into batches of ballots, and
well, this is Georgia. You guys love segregation, don't you?
Most of them had 100, one had 110 in the batch. Most of the batches showed a great deal of wear. We came to one batch, however, that just, it really was not only surprising, but it was so stark. Having done this for years.
Uh-oh, it's serious. They did a close-up on her.
How the ballots work, how they fold, how they feel, their general appearance. These ballots appeared as though the first one had been bubbled in by a person, but all of them were replicated exactly the same. We were further alarmed that in our count, 98% of these ballots were for Joseph R. Biden. 2 were for Donald J. Trump, and 1 was for Joe Jorgensen. That's a very odd count. My coworker agreed with me that there was something very unusual about these ballots. And so what we did was we started looking through that entire stack of 98 for one candidate. That seemed very odd to me. Every single ballot was absolutely identical, and if they appeared to be printed rather than with some sort of marking device, and the fact that, you know, there was a little eclipse in an oval that was void in exactly the same spot in all these ballots. We didn't see any differentiation, even when it came to the Senate candidates, or when it came to some of the referendums on the back. Everything was precisely the same. I've never seen that before in 20 years. Besides that, it just really disturbed me that these ballots did not appear to have been ever used as an absentee ballot. When you request an absentee ballot, that ballot comes to you in the mail. You don't receive that ballot as a long sheet of white paper with candidates on each side. That ballot has already been through the franking process, the stamping process at a post office. And so it has already been folded once. And regardless of your delivery method, whether you choose the U.S. Post Office or whether you chose one of those boxes that were outside of libraries or other polling places, you had to fold that, and there would have been more severe or deeper creases in these ballots, and they weren't there. But there was use to the other ballots.
Alarming evidence.
In the bubbling in.
There was something weird about the creases in these ballots.
This particular.
And the way the box was delivered.
Nearly 800 ballots. It was a stark contrast to the other ballots that were in there. There was a difference in how they were bubbled, and the fact that 98% of them were bubbled for Joseph R. Biden. That was alarming to us. This is a.
Well, I'm convinced. I assume George Soros himself sent that box of ballots to this woman. Now, one of the interesting things that's happened because of all this is that we are seeing a split in the Republican Party, especially in Georgia, where we have a runoff election at the beginning of the year, January 5th. It's when the 2 Senate runoffs that is Perdue and Ossoff and Loeffler and Warnock. So, as I've talked about in previous videos, they're having these rallies in Georgia where people are saying they're going to write in Trump in the Senate race. They're wanting to recall Brian Kemp, the Republican governor. I'm all for it. I think us lefties should totally amplify that message because they're getting this cynicism about the voting process that, like, hey, our votes don't matter anyway, so why the fuck should we vote? Do it. Good. I'm glad you think that. I was certain that neither Warnock or Ossoff would win unless they won on election day. But now I'm starting to believe, holy shit, the Democrats have a chance of sending 2 senators from Georgia. That's insane, but this is from a rally over the weekend here.
I'm a pastor. I pastored for over 11 years at a place called Chickabee Baptist Church. I'm still a United States Air Force Reserve chaplain who served in Iraq.
Don't press me.
I am not sure, Kelly, what a pro-choice pastor looks like. I know what it does.
Let me tell you, God is pro-choice. If you believe in the bullshit story of the Bible, then God gave everybody free will. But you know what God also says? Not to judge people. So it would seem that Reverend Warnock is 100% in line with the Bible, but this chuckle fuck isn't.
It doesn't look like what my Bible tells me when it says, I made you and I knitted you in your mother's womb. It did not say that a man and a woman knitted it. It said, my God in heaven put his hands upon the womb and knitted us in his womb. He knew us before we ever came out. He knew us before we go. There is no such thing as a pro-choice pastor. What you have is a lie from the pit of hell. It is time to send it back to Ebenezer Baptist Church. History and know my past.
Attacking another reverend. By the way, the Republican attacks on Reverend Warnock made me actually like the guy. I tend to not like religious people right off the bat. If someone tells me they're religious, I automatically think you should be investigated for molesting children. But Warnock is a stand-up guy. That is, God, I use that passage from the Bible all the time where the priest causes the womb to swell and yada yada yada. The only thing the Bible says about abortion is how to perform one. Now it would seem that Trump is planning on holding his first 2024 rally on Inauguration Day. Donald Trump is considering hosting a campaign event for a 2024 presidential bid in January. The event might fall on the same day as President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration on January 20th. Citing sources close to the president, reported that Trump is attempting to stay relevant even as the world prepares for a Biden administration. That's all it is. That's all it is. Staying fresh in the minds of their supporters, keeping them all ginned up, so you can send out those emails asking for donations. Send out those text messages. Please donate. Doesn't surprise me in the least. The only thing surprising about that is that I kind of feel like he might leave the country. Now, it may not be that soon. He may actually still be here for a January 20th rally. I think he is genuinely scared of being prosecuted for the crimes he has committed. And it would not surprise me at all if he doesn't really stay in America. Now, speaking of Trump rallies, he underperformed in most counties where he held large rallies. Many saw the rallies as a sign of big enthusiasm for Trump, but the data suggests the visits did not produce the desired impact for the president. Now, in his defense, of course he won't. Absolutely will not attend that inauguration. Not a chance in hell. Now, the thing about the rallies is if you're doing it in places that have, it was mainly in airport hangars. Usually it would be in convention centers, but now it had to hold them in airport hangars. The places with airports tend to be bigger cities. So I'm sure Trump did underperform in bigger cities. So I kind of take this report as a grain of salt. Because clearly he overperformed somewhere. he gained on his 2016 total. So, but now I promised crying Trump supporters, and I certainly will deliver. Michelle Dawson, a pro-Trump councilwoman in Yakult, Washington, recently went viral for the tearful rant. She posted her tearful diatribe after her husband was fired for harassing a journalist at the so-called Million MAGA March held in Washington, D.C. Now, she took her video down, but lucky for us, someone on Twitter posted it and actually edited it and interspersed her husband's behavior that was caught on video at the MAGA rally. So let's check this out.
The video that was made is probably not my husband's best moment.
What's up? How you doing, bitch?
What he did, I'm not going to say is not okay. Shit happens.
Hey, y'all, this is Portland Antifa Press. Right here, this bitch.
The company that Jeremy worked 6 years for and worked his ass off for bent their knee to terrorists yesterday and fired him. Sorry, this is really hard for me.
What's up, bitch? How you
Please
doing?
don't step on my foot.
Hi, bitch. How you doing, bitch? What's up? How you doing, bitch?
Do not touch me.
Maggot ass? I'm not touching you.
Yes, you actually are. You definitely are, and I need you to stop,
Don't video me.
None of your friends would come.
I'm allowed to video.
Okay,
You're not
I'm allowed to
touch me.
fucking be standing right fucking
You absolutely
here.
are, but if you touch me,
what's up,
that's
you
not
stupid
okay.
bitch?
I'm bitter. I'm frustrated. I don't understand.
I can't wait to see you in the...
I'm sorry, ma'am. It seems like he's the bitter one.
I don't understand.
I can't wait to see you in the fucking lobby again. What's up?
What's going to happen to me in the lobby? Antifa should not be winning. It will ruin your life. It's being turned into such an ugly thing.
Keep recording, bitch. What are you gonna do?
Please don't touch me.
Oh, please don't touch me.
Yeah, you actually are.
Please don't touch me.
I think the world needs to see the raw emotion of what Antifa causes. Please stop touching me.
Oh, what are you gonna do? Oh my god.
Wait a minute. Is she trying to blame Antifa for him being a fucking bully and an asshole? Also, like, I wonder how far she had her phone away from her, because, like, it seems like he's right up in her fucking face.
I don't know. Everybody has their breaking point. And I meant my breaking point.
Oh my god, you're gonna freak out. What are you gonna do?
Tantrum stays over there. And
Keep going, oh god. I'm an ex-drug addict. A little meth, a little Adderall. So you feel afraid right now? Hi, fuck and
They actually... I don't even want to get out of my car. I just want my mom to just come to my car right now and hug me. Like, I just want somebody to come and save me from all of this.
I really, as much as I want to laugh about this is sad. This is like one of the QAnon fucks that came to my page the other night. And, like, I'm calling them morons and like, oh yeah, zombie JFK Jr. is going to save the world and shit from the satanic pedophile ring. And this woman just breaks down and starts telling me about how she was abused and the fucking QAnon community welcomed her and stuff. I can see that. I crocodile tears and shit, but, like, these people have genuine mental issues, and I don't want to... I mean, I do want to mock them. Especially when you've got a fucking sweater on, a hoodie, Trump 2020. I don't even... That's a 2, and then I don't even... It doesn't even say 2020, does it? I have no clue what the bottom part says. I just, like... There is something wrong with these people. I don't know what the answer is. I get a lot of flack. Like, people come to my YouTube channel. They're like, you're never going to win anybody over calling them morons. It's like, it doesn't matter if I call them morons or if I go to their page and, like, I'm nice and present a logical argument with evidence and I'm polite about it. I'm still going to get called libtard, cuck, snowflake. it doesn't matter how I present my argument. So I just break down and call right-wingers morons. But I believe she is at her breaking point. I mean, her husband lost his job. But it's his, that's another thing. Right-wingers love to tell me they're the party of personal responsibility. When they say personal responsibility, of course, they mean people shouldn't get welfare, which isn't even a program anymore. They shouldn't get food stamps, yada, yada, yada. They don't mean they actually take personal responsibility for their actions. They're bigger snowflakes than anybody. Just like Trump. I won. I honestly don't know what the answer is to deal with these people. I'm open to suggestions.
At this point, I don't care if somebody's like, oh, you're a councilwoman, you shouldn't be doing this shit that you should be doing, that you're doing, because you know what?
And I'd even forgotten that she was a councilwoman. Holy shit. She serves. She's in office in that community. That's scary. Please, if you are listening to me right now and you know somebody who would be a good candidate, make them run. Talk them into running. I've tried to get several of my friends to run for office. We need to get these fucks out of there. The problem is people on the left, I have talents that are marketable. I don't need to do politics to make a living. I just feel like I have to do it right now. I have to address this shit. So we need to get more leftists, even more centrists into office, because this woman is batshit.
I'm just kind of done with everything at this point.
Then resign, please. Now, she's not the only one having buyer's remorse over Donald Trump. A man has sued for a refund of his $2.5 million. $2.5 million he donated to Trump's election challenge. So this is even after the election. He donated $2.5 million to Trump. You are exactly right. And that was the thing that pissed me off. My congressman is one of the biggest idiots in Congress. His name is Mo Brooks. You may have heard of him. He got on the House floor and said that there's a war on white people. He said that the rising ocean tides are caused by rocks falling into the ocean. Dumb fuck Mo Brooks ran unopposed. And I am not going to let that happen. Even if I have to run a joke campaign where I have signs that are just like Mo Brooks is a dumb fuck, I'll run against him. And honestly, I might win. Just somebody standing up to these idiots and saying, hey, this guy's a dumb fuck, and inject some honesty into the conversation, I might do better than people would ever imagine. I would love to be a politician. I've always put it off because, hey, I'm on video saying every offensive word under the sun. I have a history of being arrested for pot use. Never in a million years would I think that I could run for office. But hey, after Donald Trump became president, as much crime as he's committed, fuck, I might actually just give it a go. Mo Brooks, I'm coming for you, motherfucker. But I will say, I know Mo. I've been in the media for 20 years. I was running production for a TV station. I was the floor director, and Mo Brooks was a guest on one of our political shows, and Mo actually complimented my fingernail polish. He was super nice to me. He's still a dumb fuck, and he needs to be unseated. But hey, if you're worried about the state of the country, never fret. We have a new breed of politician. They're coming for the squad. They call themselves the Freedom Force.
He joins us now.
Yeah, I assume with that lawsuit, there's enough legalese in the disclaimers and the emails and shit that you donate to that they've covered their ass that you can't get the money back. Freedom Force. I just saw this story. I haven't watched this video. Let's find out. I think this guy's an ex-football player too. Byron Donalds. Let's find out who he is. A candidate in Florida. Of course it's Florida man. Maybe he just played college football. Worked in finance, insurance, and banking industries. God, he's the last fucking person that needs to be elected to office. We've got enough people from the finance, insurance, and banking industries in government. We need more actual workers. Let's hear his thoughts on the Freedom Force.
Good morning. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Griff. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk about what are your plans when you get here to the...
Is his name Grift? Is this guy's name Grift? That sounded like what he said. Good morning, Grift. I would say if you are a commentator on Fox News, you are indeed a grifter.
Nation's capital.
The plans are simple. It's never really changed. It's about supporting the Constitution. It's about making sure that we actually have bills, policies, laws that make sense for all of Americans. It's about making sure that our businesses have freedom to operate, that our families have the freedom to choose what they're going to do.
I hate that they use this language all the time. Oh, it's about the Constitution. You don't even believe in the Constitution. General Mattis says that Trump is a threat to the Constitution. I read the transcript from the court. The judge said this is not how the Constitution works. I bet this motherfucker has never read the Constitution.
In their lives, and that people in this Capitol aren't smart enough to make those decisions for them.
Well, tell us about the Freedom Force that you and other newly elected members of Congress have formed and your plans to take on the Progressive Squad.
I have never heard of any of these people. But this isn't the first time. Like, this is like the third or fourth time they've tried to package a group of Republicans as like the answer to the squad. They did it during the 2018 midterm. They had this group because one of the Congress people from here in Alabama, or that was running for Congress, I don't think she won, Nicole something or other. This gal looks like Rachel Dratch. This gal kind of looks like Rachel Dratch too. They're all Rachel Dratch characters. It's a fucking SNL skit. Except family planning. Businesses have the freedom to operate. And that's another thing. What they mean by freedom is the freedom to impose their will on you. It's always get into that conversation with libertarians. Well, I should be able to offer 25 cents an hour. That's freedom. Like, it's not freedom to the person that has to take that job. Sure it is. They entered into that contract willingly. No, if they're accepting 25 cents an hour, they didn't do it willingly. They're so poor they had to accept that. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's give him a chance to talk.
Well, listen, it's a great plan because what
Listen.
we've seen is that the left has people who are out there every single day pushing this narrative that America is some worse off country, that we need a heavy hand from government, that you have to have these ultra progressive left wing policies. But if you really look at these elections in 2020, what's clear?
We're on the verge of being a third world country. We are in many aspects. And I can point to you, like the time, they talk about making America great again. You want to go back in time? Let's go back in time to where Eisenhower had the top marginal tax rate at over 90%. And we were prosperous. Let's make America great again. Let's go back to the tax policies and the business regulations that the baby boomers operated under. Before they dismantled everything about the government, starting with Reagan in the 1980s.
Is that Americans just want to be left alone. They want smart policies. They want to follow the Constitution. They want individual liberty. They want freedom. And so whether it's myself, Burgess, Virginia, Nicole, Stephanie, whoever, we're here to say we're a fight. We're a stand against that. We're going to support the Constitution. We're going to support free markets. We're going to support individual liberty. And we're going to take that message to all voters across America.
My eye is twitching.
So, Byron, let me ask you, because you saw so many Republicans flip seats. We just had another one in Iowa, happened by just 6 votes. Do you believe that this is a rejection of the policies of the progressive left?
Absolutely.
Of the progressive left? Of the progressive left? No. It was a rejection of the centrist, stand for nothing, Republican light Democrats. Was it a rejection of the progressives? Progressives won, and won big. The problem with the Democratic Party is that there's too much corporate money flowing through it. And that they don't have the balls to stand up and propose legislation that will actually help people. Biden with his forgiving 10 grand of student debt. That's just a giveaway to the banks. Don't make me laugh.
Without question. Listen, I'm a political convert. I got into politics 12 years ago because I saw the bailouts that were coming back in 2008, and I wanted no part of them. And I think what you're seeing is American...
Hey, dude, that's something we can agree on. Robert Reich wanted the government to give people money and let them pay their bills instead of giving the money to the banks. That didn't happen, and it decimated Main Street. I'm glad you brought up all those things. Ralph fucking Nader. Ralph Nader is an American hero. And people do not understand how much of an impact he has had on their lives. And I go back and forth. Like, I feel like I made the wrong decision in 2016 by not voting for Hillary. But then again, if you go back to 2000, if we had elected Ralph fucking Nader as president in 2000, none of this shit would have ever happened. But now there's a specific policy that I would like the government to take, which is to pay people to stay home during a pandemic. Mortgage and rent freezes. Give the people money. But you know who has a problem with that? Fucking Mitch McConnell.
Before we talk about tax smart investing.
Whoa.
Audrey's expecting.
Twins. I'm on PBS. I gotta watch ads on a PBS fucking video?
Americans out of work, the stakes are dire for many families if more help is not on the way. There remain deep divisions among lawmakers. To shed light on where things stand, I spoke just moments ago with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Mr. Majority Leader, thank you very much for joining.
Well, he's looking better. A few weeks ago, it looked like he was dying. He was bruised all over. His hand was completely black. Maybe they just caked him in a bunch of makeup.
Joining us, the Chief of Staff at the White House, Mark Meadows, has just said in the last few minutes that they are
We have absolutely done enough corporate tax cuts. We need to raise taxes on corporations. For the love of God. And that's the thing, is they got their 2017 tax cut through. You and I, we're going to see higher taxes next year. Built in raising taxes on people making under 150 grand. Until it gets to 2027, we're going to be paying more than we did in 2017. But the ones for the corporations, those are permanent. Fuck me.
We're close to a deal between the two sides on COVID relief. Given the division among Republicans, members of your own party, does that mean these benefits, additional unemployment benefits, are going to lapse on Friday?
Well, I certainly hope not. Neither side would like for that to happen. And, you know, many things around here happen at the last minute. This is only Wednesday, so hopes.
Lapse on Friday? When was this? Oh, I pulled out an old video. My bad. I saw somebody share it on Facebook. It was like, oh, Mitch McConnell says we've done enough. Okay, maybe he's not looking better. In July, he says we've already done enough pandemic aid. Here we are. Tomorrow is December. Still no aid. Oh, good that, like, maybe he still looks like he's getting ready to die. Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't want to listen to him anymore. That's the okay, so that's the problem with me doing this show, is it takes a lot of work to do this. For something that, you know, I don't get paid for. Hey, except when somebody shows up to the post and is like, watch my video for $50. Cool, dude. I didn't make more than my normal job today, but $50 is quite nice for a couple hours work. But like, I do about an hour or so of prep for this show, and then I do a couple of hours after I do the show of cutting it up and putting it on YouTube. Hopefully it starts to pay off soon, because this is a lot of work. And I don't ever want to get to the point where I'm selling advertising. I would like to be completely independent. Because, okay, I was doing the news for a radio station back in 2006. And I do, there's a segment I do called the FREAKIN News on YouTube. And it's a take on this segment I used to do on a terrestrial radio station back in the mid-2000s. So I do a news story, and then I play a song under it that has something to do with the story. And I came across this story about a McDonald's worker knocking a set of razor blades into some Egg McMuffins. And then like a customer bit into the razor blade and everything. And the song he used was "Cuss Like a Knife," na 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 na, you know, the Bryan Adams song. The salesperson that represented McDonald's came into the studio, was like, hey, can you take that down? I'm like, why? It's funny. It's hilarious. It's what I do every day. It's like, yeah, but McDonald's spends a lot of money here on the radio station. We don't want to lose them as a client. I did eventually capitulate because the man was my friend. But that's what happens when your paycheck is dependent upon the sales you make, the commissions from fucking corporations. And that's just a minor example of how advertising just ruins media. So I would like to be completely crowdfunded, completely independent. That way I can always tell people to fuck off. Alright, Oregon nurse is put on leave for boasting that she doesn't wear a mask, keeps traveling, and lets her kids go on playdates in a TikTok video. Now she deleted the video, but fortunately for us, it still exists.
My son died.
Yeah, you can't really... if I pause it, I get that shit. I can't. I'll try to read what it says. When my coworkers find out I still travel, don't wear a mask, I'm out and let my kids have play dates. Well, that was a stupid fucking video. I hope it was worth your job, ma'am. People out here making stupid videos, crying in their car. Nurses saying they just skirt the medical opinion of professionals. Fuck. Now, as long as we're on the story of COVID, and I hate talking about dead animals, but apparently we've got some zombie minks running around. Dead minks infected with a mutated form of COVID-19 rise from the grave after mass culling. "2020 just keeps getting weirder and weirder." The site itself is certainly terrifying for the residents of West Jutland. Where did this happen? So it was in Denmark. A region of the country grappling with confirmed COVID-19 cases connected to the mink. There is likely a scientific explanation for the zombie-like reemergence from their graves. I'm sure there is. There's always an explanation. In this way, in the worst cases, the mink get pushed out of the ground. Oh, they had to kill 15 million minks? Oh, shit. So now they're going to go 6 foot deep because they'd only been burying them at 3 foot. Some have also been concerned about the grave's proximity to rivers and other water sources. Can we see some of the video? Is that in the video here? God, it's passing between animals and humans. That is not a good sign. And that's another, like at the beginning of the pandemic, I was talking to a friend, a liberal, someone who should be somewhat intelligent. I'm like, you do not want to let this get out of hand because it can mutate. And like one of his friends chimed in and said, yeah, that's like a 1 in 100 chance that something mutates. Or an RNA virus mutates. I'm like, do you know what happens when you give something that has a 1 in 100 chance? Millions of chances. It happens. Kills me. Zombie minks. Alright, so it would seem that Joe Biden is off on the wrong foot as he suffers a hairline fracture to his foot while playing with his dog. It appears that he's going to be in a boot for like 6 to 8 weeks, so he'll be hobbling around at inauguration. I feel sorry for the dude. Likely to require a walking boot for several weeks. Maybe he gets it off before the inauguration. Major is gorgeous. That's Major. Initially believed he had twisted his ankle, but a follow-up X-ray. No. X-rays did not appear to show obvious bone fractures, but follow-up CT scans revealed small fractures. So, speedy recovery, Mr. President-elect. I'll say something nice about you because I'm sure over the next 4 years I'm going to say a lot of mean shit about you. Cannot wait to go back to bashing Democrats. I've already done it somewhat since Biden's won. But I'll give him props. A cat is said to be joining the Bidens in the White House. So of all your picks, Mr. President-elect, I've been pretty unhappy with him. Especially the rumor of Neera Tanden in the budget office. But hey, if you're going to bring a cute-ass cat... Oh, Clinton had a cat named Socks? I didn't know he had a cat named Socks. Hey, Socks! Bill Clinton had a cat named Socks. What do you think about that, buddy? My cat was named Socks when I rescued him. I kind of tweaked it a little bit. He's Socrates. Socks for short. He's right there. You see a little bit of his tuxedo. Do we have a picture of Biden's cat? The last cat to live in the White House was India, who belonged to George W. Bush. Yeah, Barney was a cute dog. Oh, I really want to see Biden's cat. So we've had zombie minks, and now monoliths. Now, I didn't touch this last week when this happened because everybody else was raving about it. One popped up in what? Arizona? No, in Utah. Vanished without a trace in the Utah desert. There's no way after as much media attention that shit got that it vanished without a trace. God damn, this is some kind of marketing campaign. Some kind of viral bullshit. A company thought this shit up. I'm calling it now. But we've got a new one in Romania. So this is a video of the one in Romania. Huh. It's like it's got a break towards the bottom of it. I've got several friends that have been like, oh, aliens. I wonder if it makes that really annoying noise from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now that weird crack in it, that makes me think it's been assembled. I'm calling it. This is some sort of viral marketing campaign for some bullshit. All right, final story before we wrap it up tonight. Apparently there was some sort of fight over the weekend. And Logan Paul knocked somebody out or some shit. I only know about any of this shit from memes. I didn't know Logan Paul was a tough guy. But Mike Tyson admitted that he smoked some pot right before he fought Roy Jones. It's just who I am. Dude, Mike Tyson, you're cool. Other than that whole woman beating shit, that wasn't cool. Absolutely yes, he said during his post-fight press conference. So they went to a draw. Apparently, people told me that Jones kept getting him in the clinch. God, I hate fights like that. That's why boxing is in the toilet. Listen, I can't stop smoking, he said. I smoked during fights. I just have to smoke. I'm sorry. I'm a smoker. I smoke every day. I never stopped smoking. I'm with you, Iron Mike. I actually had to, I used to come on this show and start with a segment called Reefer and a Rant, but I quit smoking during this show because I'd get blistered and then lose my train of thought, not know what I was talking about, wasn't as sharp, and I felt like it was very detrimental to the show, so I quit smoking an hour before the show. I will not smoke. It's my rule for when I go on stage, too, to do my stand-up. Hour before I do stand-up, will not smoke. Alright, I think that'll do it for me for the night. Go ahead. Light one up, tip one back. Light one up, just like Iron Mike does. Light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin FREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol.